You're listening to the Love Over Addiction podcast.
Hi, this is Jo, and before we dive in, I just wanted to say a couple of quick things. We know that it's almost Christmas Day, and when we thought about you and what kind of episode we wanted to give you today, gratitude came to our minds. So today we're re-releasing an episode that we recorded last year, and it's all about reasons to be grateful for addiction. We incorporated voices from our own community, so we encourage you to listen with an open mind and see if you can find your own ways to be grateful.
I know that for those of us in this community who love someone suffering from this disease, most of us can raise our hands if asked the question, do you feel slightly depressed during the holidays? Or do you feel anxious over the drinking or the drug use over the holidays? I know for me, even though a part of me was really, really excited to celebrate with family and with my kids, there was always the other part of me that was incredibly worried about what was going to go on. Will I get embarrassed? How can I help my husband stay sober? So it's a difficult time of year for us. And so often I fall into the trap, and maybe some of you guys do this too, where we check out social media or we look at like the latest magazine. I used to be a big fan of Martha Stewart, so I would look at her, which I don't know why. I still love her, but I never do anything out of her magazines. Like, I'm not a crafty person. So why did I subscribe, and I still subscribe, to her beautiful magazine when all I do is look at the pictures and go, oh, I should do that. I should bake that from scratch. I should sew that. But I don't know how to sew. And I don't have like a glue gun or any of what are those? I call them, see, this is how uncrafty I am. They're not sprinkles, they're sparklies, whatever. Anyways, you guys, point is, where am I going with this? I am saying that it is very common for us to compare our lives, which sometimes can look really dysfunctional, and we can be hot messes, to the Martha Stewarts of the world, to whatever lifestyle blogger, Instagrammer, and go, my life, will never be that good. So here's what I want to do, because for those of you that know me and know our community, I absolutely do not buy into the fact that addiction and discussing addiction needs to be depressing. Like, no, thank you. We have enough depressing stuff going on with our lives. Let's look at all of the good things that are coming out of addiction. And I want to lovingly remind you, there are many good things that are going on in your life right now, even though it might not feel like it. So today's episode, in celebration of Thanksgiving, is about gratitude. Now, we're going to try something new, and I'm so excited to do this with you guys. I have asked our brave and wise and amazing women in our secret Facebook group to share reasons or blessings of addiction. Reasons they're grateful for addiction or blessings of addiction. And I know some of you might be saying, Michelle, what are you talking about? There are no blessings of addiction. Can't you see the one I love is sick and hurting me and hurting themselves? And I say, absolutely. I acknowledge that wholeheartedly. But I also I don't want to use the word force us, because that's way too aggressive, but I want to encourage us to also look at the light in the darkness, to also look at what loving somebody with addiction, the gifts that that has brought us, because I think it is so important. I remember back when I was married to a good, wonderful, gifted, smart man who was struggling with this disease. I was leaving him, and in the middle of me leaving him, it was one of the most, it was the most difficult time of my life. And I'm 41. But I've got to tell you, if you ask me during the 3 or 4 months, was it the most difficult? Yes, but it was also the time that I was the most focused on gratitude. And I've talked a lot about this in my podcast. And so, because I have spoken a lot about this is what I'm excited about. I am going to bring in other voices for you to hear, because I don't want it to always just be me talking to you. We have a lot of really amazing women in this community, thousands and thousands of them from all over the world. And I want you to get to know them. And I want you to hear their reasons why they think addiction has been a blessing in their life. So, just a loving reminder. I know that it feels dark and hopeless sometimes, but addiction can be a gateway. It's an opportunity to grow into the women we are meant to be, to learn healthy boundaries that should have been there all along, to trust friends and family who will love and accept us exactly as we are today. And addiction provides us stories to encourage and inspire other women. Addiction can be our greatest teacher. And I personally am so incredibly thankful for addiction, and I'm not alone. So, like I said earlier, we've asked the loving and super wise and willing women in our community to share how they are grateful for loving someone suffering from addiction. My hope is that their voices will inspire you to focus on the glimmer of light amongst the darkness during this holiday season of thankfulness. So, without further ado, here they are.
I've grown into a more independent woman, setting really great boundaries for all of the relationships in my life, when at one time I completely lost who I was. Thanks to the Love Over Addiction programs for helping me with the tools to implement the new me.
I realized how strong of a woman I am.
By telling my truth to people I trust, I've gained a wonderful community that cares for me. Addiction has shown me that even though my husband broke my trust, it's still okay to trust others and share my story.
Addiction has been a blessing in my life because learning what I need from this program helps me to be there for other women, to empower women. I can't think of anything more rewarding.
I have become a stronger woman who can do things for herself.
Disease has caused me to look within so often, to grow and to mature in ways that benefit every person in my life.
Addiction has been a blessing in my life because this disease has reminded me not to judge the term drug addict or junkie. Addiction opened my eyes up to the world around me. It changed this once naive girl into a strong woman.
When I think of the blessings of addiction, this big one comes to mind. Addiction has helped me remember who I am. Wickedly capable, fearless, and smart. Also, bringing me fully to God. I have always been on the borderline of faith, but this disease allowed me to surrender so that I could lean into God as I've always wanted.
Addiction reminded me that I am responsible for my self-care. Addiction has helped me see the beauty of learning about myself. I am exploring the world now and everything it has to offer. I am also spending more time with my son. Addiction has taught me to spend time on things and people that matter, starting with me.
I was completely terrified of myself before this program. I never felt stable with any decision I made. I would beg, plead, cry, become depressed, suffer from extreme anxiety, and I thought, mistakenly, that I could make all these feelings go away if I just figure out somehow to control the situation. I have grown so much in this program. I took my power back. I no longer feel weak or incapable. That is the true blessing.
Addiction has been a blessing in my life because addiction pushed me into full-time work in a job that I'm good at, people respect and appreciate me, and I'm helping people every day.
Addiction has been a blessing in my life because it has made me stronger in so many ways. It has taught me to fully rely on God. I learned there is a plan for me and I deserve happiness.
Addiction has helped me become a better mom who can talk openly and honestly with my kids about any and everything.
My name is Rebecca, and addiction has been a blessing to me because I've gotten to learn and really internalize that my worth, my lovability, my value, and so much more come from within, knowing that I am worthy of love, worthy of all of my dreams coming true, worthy of whatever God and the universe have in store is not tied up with whether someone else values what I do or how I love.
Addiction has been a blessing in my life because I'm stronger and smarter. I'm learning my value and worth again. My kids are safe and protected with me, and my home is peaceful again. I've learned to say no and stand up for myself.
For the first time in my life, I chose to put myself and ultimately my children first when I ended my marriage. I decided not to settle. Usually I would accept whatever crumbs came my way, but thriving my way out of addiction taught me to trust in myself and stop fighting all the signs. This has been a blessing because I grew so much as a person, and I started to like and admire myself.
Life with an addict has made me think about who I want to be and to take steps to become that person.
It has given me the confidence to face up to and admit my fears, codependency, and begin to own and come to terms with my past. To really acknowledge and stand up for my own values and beliefs rather than just accepting everyone else's and ignoring or discounting my feelings.
Aren't they just incredible? I love these women. They fill my heart. My husband, my kids, my small group of friends, and these women make up who I am. I am so incredibly proud of their work. And let me tell you how hard everyone in our secret Facebook group is working on these programs. I'm just incredibly proud of them. So I want you to know I am proud of you too, because you are listening to this, which means you are doing something about this. You are becoming educated. You are not staying stuck. You are not being a martyr. You are not being hopeless and putting all of the responsibility on feeling better on the one you love. You are taking ownership of your destiny. And I know if you're willing to do that, I know you are going to be incredibly successful. I know that you absolutely, wholeheartedly should have hope for your future. Everything in your life is going to be okay. Keep learning, keep doing the work. I am your greatest fan and I am cheering you on because I believe in you. And I know that you can rise up into this opportunity, that you are not helpless, that you are the steady, sober, strong one in your relationship, that you take care of everything, and that you just need to put a little bit more effort into taking care of yourself, especially during this holiday time. I love you, and I'm thinking of you for every minute.
If you haven't already taken advantage of our Love Over Addiction free program sample, then now's the time. Head over to loveoveraddiction.com/December to read all the details and get your free program sample today. Again, that's loveoveraddiction.com/December. And thank you, as always, for listening to this podcast and supporting this community. And if you haven't already, be sure and subscribe to this podcast wherever you listen so you never miss an episode. This podcast is created for your support, encouragement, and entertainment with Michelle's personal thoughts and beliefs. From one woman to another, bonded together by the fact we love someone suffering from addiction. This is not intended as a substitute for therapy or advice from a professional.